There is a surefire way to write better content using tools like ChatGPT, guaranteed. And while most people either believe that AI will completely take over all things writing and content creation, or that the outputs will forever be generic trash, there's a small group of us here in the middle who know that with the right prompting and the right sequencing, you can create high-performing content that feels good, easier and faster than ever before. Imagine having a personal assistant who never sleeps and is always ready to help you write better content. They remember everything you teach them, and they know a lot of the things you didn't have to teach them. The best part is that this assistant has no intention of plotting to take over your job or your business. They can thrive in their role, and you can thrive in yours. When you use the prompting and sequencing we're going over in this video, that's what tools like ChatGPT can become for you. The best assistant you'll ever have. My name is Ryan, and I've reached over 500,000 readers from my personal blog for the better part of a decade now. I've been hired as a content leader and a marketing consultant by Fortune 500 brands and some of the world's most recognizable startups. And I have a little secret to share. I use AI in my content creation process. It gives me what I like to think of as wet clay that I can then mold into a beautiful end creation. Over the last year and a half, I've been able to create more content that's been both faster to produce and just as high quality as what I've been making all along. And the results speak for themselves. More content, more views, more results. So in today's video, you'll learn how to avoid getting frustrated by low quality generic AI content, as well as avoiding starting with the dreaded blank page every single time. The days of needing to do 100% of the work yourself as a creator are behind us. We're going over more than 30 of my best AI writing prompts, and here's the important part. We'll also talk about which parts of your writing process to use them in. Then at the end, you'll get a special bonus for how you can access all of my best copy and paste ChatGPT prompts so that you can put these to work in your process today. But here's the thing most people get wrong about using AI to help with your writing. One prompt isn't enough. Effective prompting of ChatGPT is a multi-step journey. You can't just expect to get a full article or an entire script you'll be happy with from using one go with a single prompt. Not only does the AI do better with one task at a time, but when writing, there are different focuses and contexts that need to be used throughout the writing process. So here's how you can customize your prompting based on which part of the writing process you want to use AI to help with. That leads us to our 3 rules for content writing with AI. Rule number 1, decide which role you want AI to play in your writing process versus how you want to be involved as the creator. We'll go over how you can use AI at the start of your process for ideation and outlining, in the middle for tasks like writing and editing, and towards the end for things like drafting descriptions and content for social posts to promote your content. Rule number 2, your ChatGPT outputs will only be as good as your inputs. Spending time to craft detailed and precise prompts will lead to more accurate and useful outputs every single time. I'll be showing you my detailed prompts, and in the description below this video, you can snag those copy and paste prompts right now. Rule number 3, use ChatGPT and other AI tools as a collaborator, not as a replacement for you in the creation process. Continuously review, edit, and refine the AI-generated content to make sure it aligns with your take, your voice, and that it meets your quality standards. In order to beef up ChatGPT from its run-of-the-mill robot status into a supercharged content assistant, you need to know all the components that make its gears turn most effectively. All prompts have 6 key components. Number 1 is the task. This is your request of the AI. Number 2, context. These are the helpful details around the task that really personalize the request. And the more specific you are, the better the outputs will be. Number 3, exemplar. This is just a fancy word for examples, but AI really thrives by seeing examples of what you hope to get from it. Number 4 is the persona. Who do you want the AI to be when it's creating this particular output for you? Which hats does it need to wear? Number 5, format. What is the exact end result you envision as a result of this output? And then finally, number 6 is the voice. What's the style and tone that you want this output to sound like? Shout out to Jeff Su, who created a much more detailed video breaking down this entire formula. Before moving on to my ChatGPT prompts, let's quickly break down an example prompt so that you get to better understand how this formula works and its various different components. Here's a prompt that I've engineered in order to create a social media calendar that gives me a detailed, month-long schedule with the goal of boosting engagement with my audience. You're an experienced social media marketer with a knack for creating highly engaging posts for your brand. Create a 1-month-long social media plan with a focus on summer festivities, specifying which days and times to post on our social channels for maximum engagement. Include a mixture of recommendations for different post types designed around driving audience discussions, inspiring engagement, asking questions, and others you recommend based on brands successfully using social media in the fill in the blank your industry. Include a few examples for all post types you recommend. What you'll notice about this example prompt is that it's very detailed and specific. I know exactly what I want from the AI before I go into creating the prompt, and that's crucial. Now, while every prompt does not need to have every single component, remember that your AI robot writing assistant can only be as good as the guidance you give it. ChatGPT can be an excellent tool for drafting initial versions of your content. By inputting your main ideas or outlines, you can quickly generate a rough draft that you can refine and personalize. This can save time and help you overcome writer's block, providing a solid foundation to build upon. First up, introductions. Using ChatGPT to create an introduction is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in my detailed prompt here. And again, if you want to grab this prompt, copy and paste and use it in your own process, there's a link in the description below this video to where you can snag all of these prompts right here. Now let's quickly customize this prompt so we can see exactly what it looks like. It's important to really make sure that your prompt is as specific as possible in order to get the kinds of outputs that you want. So take into account, especially writing something like an introduction, that you want to really give your take and the key points for the AI to work with. So let's see how this goes. Not a bad starting point. Now, I want to quickly show you the tool that we built inside of RightBlogger for this exact purpose. And we've designed this prompt behind the scenes to work with all of the details that we want to feed into the AI in order to write a compelling introduction without having to write that entire prompt yourself. So we'll go ahead and put the same topic into the keyword phrase, and then we'll use the My Tone feature that customizes the voice and style and tone of the voice, and then add some additional details around point of view, first person, and then here in the additional instructions field, this is where you want to add your take on the topic. So we'll go back to this prompt that we wrote here in ChatGPT and grab the two main key points that I wanted to convey on this topic, and we'll just paste them in right there. If I wanted to get more creative, I would toggle the creativity slider up to say most creative, least creative, but I'll leave it right here in the middle. And if I wanted to add some more knowledge for the AI to work with, I could just click this and add a source of knowledge, paste in some text, or even pull from my own library of knowledge already inside of RightBlogger. But let's say for the sake of this example, we're ready to go. I'll go ahead and click generate. Something that we built into RightBlogger is that we give you multiple output options for most of our tools here. So you can grab the one that you like, copy it, paste it directly into your CMS of choice, or you can work with this by clicking on the tools button and seeing which tools play nicely with these outputs. Next, conclusions. The way you wrap up an article, essay, newsletter, or blog post needs to have a lot of thought behind it. Someone who makes it to the end of your creation is a very captive consumer of your content. So what action do you want your readers to take at the end of your writing? Keep that in mind as you start working with this prompt. This prompt is going to be relatively similar to the introduction prompt, so we'll go ahead and just paste this into ChatGPT, and I'll just show you what this one looks like. We also have a conclusion generator tool directly inside RightBlogger where you can interact with the AI in this format as well. Outlines are another great use case for AI when you're feeling a little bit uninspired and you want to get a little starter content to set yourself down the right path for a topic you want to write about. Here's my ChatGPT prompt for creating an outline that you can work with and build upon in order to get the piece of content that you're hoping for. Let's say for the sake of this example that I'm going to be writing a post for my hiking blog, Hike with Ryan. And I want to create a piece of content that is all around how to prepare for a backpacking trip. And then I'd go ahead and fill in the audience description as well, new hikers. And then I would want to be really detailed around what my quick take is on this subject matter. So again, with AI, the more specific, the more detail you give it, the more effective you're going to get for an output. So here, using this example, I'll give my quick take on how to prepare for backpacking. Think through and carefully plan each day of your trek, taking into account the weather
you plan to encounter. This is pretty great. As you can see, this is a very detailed outline for a post on how to prepare for backpacking, especially given the relatively small amount of context that we gave ChatGPT in order to work with for this. Now, let's quickly take a look at how to do the same thing using RightBlogger in just a few clicks. First, we'll paste in that topic keyword up top, and then we can add some additional keywords if we want to here. I'll toggle the my tone setting, and then under additional instructions, this is where I'll add my take. Again, the more specific and detailed you are here, the more effective you'll get of an output. Let's go ahead and click generate and see what we get. And there we go. We get a pretty similar looking outline that is well researched, is detailed, and has really specific suggestions on how to approach this particular topic. We even include some FAQs and how to wrap this article up. AI is also great at writing sections of your posts in chunks. This is going to be particularly useful for things like product descriptions or somewhat repetitive content forms that you don't want to write over and over in a same laborious manner. So let's go ahead and paste in this ChatGPT prompt here. And what we can see is that we'd want to customize this as much as possible, again, based on the specific section of a post we want to write. Here's just an example of an article that I'm creating on hiking boots. And let's see what we get. With this example inside RightBlogger, if I want to generate a product description really quickly, I just come over to the product description generator tool, paste in the product name, add a detailed description, things that I wanted the listing to highlight, and then I go ahead and click generate. I'm not gonna lie, writing full articles using AI, even tools like RightBlogger that I built, comes with a bit of a risk. You have to be very specific, and ideally, you take your post creation process in stages. Using ChatGPT here, here's an example of the first step of the prompt that I like to use for creating an article outline, and then we'll interact with the outline, giving it feedback. Finally, we'll wrap up with the third step, creating the actual first draft article. So we'll start with the first step of this prompt, and for the topic example, let's say how to start a newsletter for an audience of content creators. When drafting the outline, take into account my key point of view of fill in the blank here. Now keep in mind, I'd want to be very detailed if I'm actually doing this for a real piece of content, but for the sake of this quick example, let's just say it's important to start a newsletter from day one. And then we'll put that in quotes just to make it ultra clear. Now, let's send this off to ChatGPT, and what we're gonna get here is an outline to work with. This is a pretty solid outline, but what you're gonna wanna do as the creator here is really spend time scrolling through, looking for opportunities to improve this outline, and you can take notes right here inside ChatGPT as you're collecting feedback for it if you wanna make revisions to this outline. Let's just say for the sake of this example that we are ready to create this article. So skipping step 2 of making revisions to the outline, we'll go ahead and add in the third step of this prompt. Now, right here inside ChatGPT, I'll paste in this prompt, write a 1,500 word article using this outline above. I like to start with this length of content because something that's lengthier is going to be much more to manage and have to work with on the editing side. Whereas I like in my writing process to add to content as I'm editing it. So let's send this off and see how it goes. And here we go. This is a very detailed first draft article. And as you can see, it's a little bit bland on the formatting elements, but we've got some list formatting stuff in here. I would really punch this up from a scannability perspective. As a reader, I'm going to want a little bit more formatting that's going to keep me more engaged. But we hit all the main points that were covered in the outline, and so this really does the job well. You can see down here there's some additional resources and some extra articles to read on. One of our flagship tools inside of RightBlogger is the article writer tool. We wanted to create this because writing first draft content can sometimes be a drag. And this tool is designed to do exactly what we just did in ChatGPT, using a more complex, detailed prompt in a multi-stage process. So let's take a quick look. Let's use the same example, how to start an email newsletter. And then we'll go ahead and have the ability to customize options to include links, images, real-time knowledge, and you'll want to toggle on the edit outline option. This will give you the opportunity to edit the outline before we send it off to AI to write the entire article. You can customize things like article length, the point of view, including a relevant video on the topic, using a primary keyword phrase, target audience, adding additional instructions for the outline if you have a clear take on how you want to take this topic, and then of course, additional instructions for the article as well, creativity slider, add knowledge. Let's say for the sake of this example, we're ready to go. Let's generate that outline. And here's our outline. This is where you get to come in as the creator and drag and drop different sections as needed. Customize this outline based on what you feel this topic needs and your experience, your skills, your level of knowledge with this subject matter. Now, let's say you want to drag and drop different header sections around the article. You can do that with a breeze. And if you want to edit a particular section, just click this little pencil icon. You can edit the name of the heading. You can edit the additional instructions that you give each section. This is where customizing your article will really help you out in the long run and help you create content that's a better first draft and gives you a really good foundation to start your writing process. Let's say that you want to add an outline item, just click this button, and once you're ready, hit the Generate Article button. Once the tool's done, you'll have a lot of options for customizing this article and gathering additional useful tidbits to work with. For example, clicking on this SEO tab here will generate a meta title, a meta description, a permalink suggestion, and it'll highlight a primary keyword phrase if you chose one for this article. We make it super easy to grab all of these elements and paste them directly into your CMS of choice. You can also chat with any piece of content that you create inside RightBlogger to suggest edits, get different revisions, and then also generate additional content based on this particular output. This article's looking pretty good though, 3,242 words. That's on the lengthier side for what I'd like to start with. But again, this is a great foundational point, especially assuming if you spend real time on that outline editing process and you weave your take, your process, your examples, your experience into the creation process itself. So if I'm ready to work with this article, I'll just go ahead and copy it here, and then I can paste it directly into my CMS like WordPress, or if I want to collaborate with other people, I have a bunch of options to download the content, or I can just share it by enabling this share link here, copying the link and sharing it with my collaborators. What's important to remember here though is that with any piece of long form creation that you're using AI to help you make, you really want to spend time editing it. An article like this, I would spend likely somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours working with this as a first draft, treating it as if someone, a writer, an assistant, helped create this first draft for me, and now it's my job as the creator to take ownership in making this mine. But one really solid benefit of creating content inside RightBlogger is that we've tuned this behind the scenes already to have a level of SEO optimization that's going to set you down the right path so that you don't have to do a ton of SEO optimization during your editing process. Frequently asked questions are another great use case for AI when you want to create content that goes out and researches questions people ask within your industry or around a particular topic, and you want to generate those answers in one fell swoop. So let's go ahead and paste this FAQ prompt directly into ChatGPT here, and I would want to customize this based on both audience and the topic. Again, specificity really helps here. And inside RightBlogger, we also have an FAQ generator tool that'll come up with the most commonly researched questions and those corresponding answers for you. When it comes to ideation, ChatGPT can actually serve as a pretty great creative assistant, offering new perspectives, ideas, and even alternative phrasings and ways of approaching something that can fill the creative gaps in your process, adding to a really well-rounded, finished product. By using AI as a collaborative tool, you can keep your unique voice and tone at the center of your creations while dialing up the overall quality, speed, and efficiency of your writing process. Idea generation is an area where AI really shines. If you're anything like me, staring at a blank page, not quite sure what to write about or how to approach a particular topic is one of the least fun things that can happen. So let's generate some ideas. Here's my prompt for generating article ideas. Now, you're going to want to fill in the details again as much as possible, and if you can include the website URL for where you publish content, that's really going to help tailor these ideas to your style of writing. And inside RightBlogger, we've got a tool for generating post ideas as well. Let's say you want to develop a full-on content plan, a publishing schedule. Here's going to be my ChatGPT prompt for that. And again, you're going to want to customize this as much as possible based on your brand and your specific interests. If you have a theme coming up that you want to focus these ideas around, add those details right here into the prompt. ChatGPT is also a great research assistant. So let's say you want to do some keyword research to validate a particular topic and prioritize the way that you approach the articles that you want to create. So I'll go ahead and paste in the ChatGPT prompt for keyword research here, and let's just use the example of easy lasagna recipe. As you can see here, it's a pretty big range that ChatGPT is going to give us for this term. However, it looks somewhat reliable based on the sources it cites, and it'll also tell us how competitive it is due to high search volume. This is going to be a pretty competitive term. Let's take a look at this same search inside RightBlogger. Let's say easy lasagna recipes. And something that we added into RightBlogger is this little magic sparkle button right here. When you click this, it's going to generate a list of related keywords and terms and add those to the search query so that we're casting a wider net and getting more opportunities for how to approach this particular topic. You can customize the target language and the country that you'll be creating this content in. Let's hit submit and let's see what we get. As we can see, we get a lot of different results for this. However, what I like about our keyword tool compared to something like ChatGPT is that you can filter this based on competition level so that you can see the lowest competition keywords first. And then let's say we'd want to scroll down and look for something that's going to be in the medium to low competition range and have somewhere in probably the low thousands of monthly search volume. If you want to filter this by volume, you can do the same right there as well. Creating a keyword cluster is another really useful one using ChatGPT because it'll give you a sense of how to approach a topic in a really comprehensive manner that sets yourself up as an authority on the subject matter. So here's my prompt for creating a keyword cluster using ChatGPT. Fill in all these details and you'll have a really good starting point for a cluster. And if you want to do something similar using RightBlogger, this is one of our most popular tools because we put a lot of SEO weight into this behind the scenes. One of my favorite hacks for finding long tail keyword opportunities that aren't going to be as competitive, have a little less search volume than the really popular terms, but will really give you a strong shot at ranking is the people also ask section. When you Google search a topic, you'll notice that there's usually a section that's called people also ask, and it'll have a bunch of question suggestions that people are asking related to this greater subject matter. A great way to seize the opportunity of those questions is to use a prompt that's geared towards sourcing those people also ask questions and creating those answers. Here's my ChatGPT prompt for that. Go ahead and customize this based on your topic and your audience, and you'll get something really solid back. And of course, we have this tool inside RightBlogger as well if you want to do this in a one-click fashion. ChatGPT is also going to be a really good assistant at helping you optimize your content. Here's my ChatGPT prompt for optimizing a particular blog post, given it's already a published URL. And then here, we want to add in the primary keyword phrase so that it knows what to optimize this post for. It's going to give you back a list of suggestions and actions that you can take to improve the quality of this article in terms of ranking for organic traffic results. Now, I don't know about you, but the last thing I want to do after I just created a long form article is to go out and promote it or repurpose that content into other formats where I can then share it and help drive traffic to that article. ChatGPT is a great assistant for doing this. So for this example, here's my ChatGPT prompt for creating a LinkedIn post, and it'll give me multiple different options. Here's another prompt for coming up with tweet or X post ideas. They're going to be similar in format, but again, what makes this prompt really effective is telling the AI which platform it's going to be publishing on. It'll curate the examples that it's going to write for you based on those publishing destinations. When it comes to repurposing content, my absolute favorite tool inside RightBlogger is the YouTube video to blog post generator. You can just paste in the link to any YouTube video that you've created for your channel and have the opportunity to write an article about it in one fell swoop. It's going to be a great first draft, a starting point that gives you the opportunity to repurpose this video you already made into an optimized long form blog post that you can then publish on your site as well. Here inside RightBlogger, we also have tools for meta title and meta description generation. ChatGPT is also a great editor. It can help you problem solve trouble areas in your content. So when you're encountering any sort of challenging sections or specific problems in your writing, here's my ChatGPT prompt to use when you want to check the grammar, spelling, and just make sure that a piece of content or some text that you paste into ChatGPT is going to be sound, it's going to read well for people who stumble upon it. And of course, we've got a tool inside RightBlogger that does this as well. Last but not least, another use case I really like AI for is comparing my content to existing successful content on the same topic so that I can spot some opportunities for things that I might be missing. I like to call this a content gap analysis. So here's my ChatGPT prompt for running a content gap analysis that compares your article right here to an existing competitor article. And again, be careful here. You don't want to copy content from a competitor, but if you see someone successful doing something right and you want to learn from them, this is a great way to gather some of those insights. Here's our content gap analysis tool inside RightBlogger, and I want to show you exactly what this analysis looks like. Check this out. We get some really actionable areas that my article's lacking compared to the competitor piece that I pulled in. It highlights these opportunities, gives you a quick checklist of how to approach your update for this article once you're ready to improve it.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to grab all my best ChatGPT prompts for content creation linked in the description below this video. Oh, and if you want to see my favorite blog writing tools that I built in action, check out this video next.